Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. Let's take a look at what we're discussing. First of all, we tell you that it is great news for Pakistan and we truly should be proud of, I think every now and then we get some positive news from various cricketing bodies as well. And this time it is Pakistan's deaf cricket team that has won the Deaf International Cricket Council T20 World Cup, beating Sri Lanka in the final. The team was, of course, unbeaten in the tournament, and they won the tournament as well. So not just won the tournament but remained undefeated and then returned home to a hero's welcome on the airport as well. They were received as heroes, as they should be. So congratulations to everybody, each and every member of this deaf cricket team for Pakistan, especially the team management and everybody that is involved, including the players' families. And of course, you know, it's not easy making your way onto the international stage and then representing Pakistan and winning a World Cup is surely got to be the most glorious moment in anyone's life. So I think congratulations to everyone. And of course, Chairman Pakistan Cricket Board, Mr. Mohsin Naqvi, has also congratulated this deaf cricket team for representing Pakistan proudly and winning the T20 World Cup by the Deaf International Cricket Council. And like I said, that it is a great and proud moment for all of us Pakistanis. So we send out our congratulations to the Cricket Council and everybody involved. Then of course we move on and we discuss Sri Lanka's tour to Bangladesh, where Bangladesh have won by 6 wickets in the first one-day international. Najmul Hussain has been declared player of the match. They now lead the 3-match series 1-0. Now on paper, one would say Sri Lanka is the stronger side. But Bangladesh, I think, have done exceptionally well. And they are always there when it comes to their home conditions. I think they always tend to dominate. But then when it comes to the transformation towards playing outside Bangladesh, that's where the visible struggle has been. So we'll talk about their future prospects and also for Sri Lanka, who are also in some sort of rebuilding phase as well. Then, of course, we move on to football. In the second half of the show, we discuss the Uefa Champions League, where Atletico Madrid and Borussia Dortmund have advanced to the quarterfinals. Madrid defeated Inter Milan in the pre-quarterfinals, while Borussia Dortmund overcome PSV Eindhoven by 2-0. So it's an interesting lineup that we see ahead as well, and we'll discuss that in detail. Time now to introduce the guests. First of all, in studios, we've been joined by cricket commentator, international broadcaster, presenter, and our sports expert, Asif Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Walaikum assalam, Ahmed. I'm very well, thank you.
Great to have you on the show. We've also been joined by sports expert Ali Mehdi. Assalamu alaikum, Ali, how are you?
Walaikum assalam, I'm very well, thank you.
Well, Asif, it's a proud moment for Pakistanis all over the world. What would you like to say on this victory of this deaf cricket team for Pakistan? They've won the Deaf International Cricket Council T20 World Cup.
Well, first of all, I would like to say absolutely amazing performance from the Pakistan deaf cricket team. Congratulations to the skipper, Waqar, his name is Zaka Ahmed Qureshi, and the way they have played, to be very honest, I was just watching the highlights when I came to know that Pakistan is the champion. This tournament happened in the Sharjah. Especially when we talk about the performances, being commentator, it's really nice that your team is making 151 and you're pulling down your team or your opposition on just 63. It means that the batters, bowlers, everyone, they performed really well and they clinched the prestigious victory of the World Cup. 6 nations have participated in this tournament, including Australia. Australia is always a strong side. Either they're playing the deaf cricket, blind, or they're in the under 16, under 19. So they are the very tough competitors. But Pakistan remain. The good thing is, Ahmed, that the Pakistan remain unbeatable throughout the tournament. And as you were telling in your intro, that the chairman Pakistan Cricket Board, Mohsin Naqvi, has applauded them. It's really nice gesture from the Pakistan Cricket Board. And I think that every person should, praise them, should appreciate them, because they're the heroes, they're the real heroes. And I like the way you have shown the visuals over the screen of PTV World, that everyone is welcoming them. That is so nice gesture. And when the Pakistan team, either it's a blind team, it's deaf team, they're doing something phenomenal for Pakistan. Of course, it's about green flag and we're united.
Absolutely. Ali Mehdi, it is always a proud moment when Pakistan's winning at any stage or in any format, let alone an international World Cup for the deaf cricket team. They've, of course, received a hero's welcome. We must be proud of them. What would you like to add? And also the fact that obviously this is a time where probably they need even more support as well.
Look, this is the thing when it comes to disabilities for our cricket teams. Should it be the disabilities team, the blind team, or should it be the deaf? They've always done extremely well. Followed up by the blind team, which has been doing well for years. For the deaf team to win the T20 World Cup shows that how much talent we've got and how well they did. Like Asif Bhai just mentioned, they went undefeated. But the important thing is, Ahmed, that they came up against some brilliant teams over here. You talk about Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Australia. All these big teams actually competed against the deaf cricket team too. And the most important thing is this was over a span of 1 week. So it's not like Pakistan played any mugs. They actually played some brilliant teams out there, and they played very competitive and skillful cricket, due to which they won. So I just want to add that it's a brilliant initiative. Chairman Mohsin Naqvi obviously lauded the team too, and onward to higher things. But it just shows that we need to actually support our teams with disabilities too, not only in cricket and other sports too. But if it starts out with cricket, then it's obviously going to filter on to other sports.
Absolutely, and I think all of us should be very proud, and at this moment, like all of us are mentioning, that this calls for more support for these teams who are performing exceptionally well. I think consistency has certainly been there for the blind cricket team, for the deaf cricket team, as Ali Mehdi also mentioned, that we're seeing some positive results consistently. So imagine if they're given even more support, be it logistical or financial, they can go a long way in probably, I think, achieving even more for Pakistan as well. On that note, now we of course move on to Sri Lanka's tour to Bangladesh, where they've of course lost the first match. Bangladesh were exceptional, and of course they now lead the 3-match series 1-0 as well. Asif, both teams in some sort of rebuilding phase right now. But I mean, Sri Lanka won the toss, they wanted to bat first. It was exceptional new ball bowling from the Bangladeshi fast bowlers, including you talk about Taskeen Ahmed, and then of course Shariful Islam, and also Hassan Saqib as well, who was absolutely brilliant. 3 wickets apiece for all 3 of them.
Well, Bangladeshi team, when they're they're playing without Shakib Al Hasan, it's really important for these kind of youngsters to perform well for the team. And once again, Sri Lanka, they're a very strong side. They remain the world champions as well. And when we see that the destruction of the Sri Lankan side, especially I always talk about that as Pakistan is struggling in the middle order, their middle order is also struggling. Yes, though we talk about that the Patham Nisanga, some other players, they're performing well. But of course that you require some players who can perform consistently with the consistency, and not only they require some good batters, but some good all-rounders as well, as Angelo Matthew they do have. But I think in this match only credit goes to Shantu, the way he played 122 in a very crucial and pressure time. They've lost early couple of wickets, but Shantu was there, showed some commitment. It was an extraordinary performance from Najmul Hasan Shantu. 122. Look at his strike rate. Each and everything is perfect. Looks really, really sound. And this is what I do like when you're chasing. It does not matter that that if you're losing wicket, just come up with the strong nerves and just try to play positive cricket. This is what Shantu has done. If you see his wagon wheel once again, Ahmed, interesting thing that he was playing towards extra cover, towards long off, long on. This is my, I always love to watch a player who's just playing with the straight bat in the V, and then in the end bringing victory for his, and a comprehensive victory for his team. So Najmul Hasan Shantu, congratulations.
Absolutely, and I think it's always great when you see a person who's been given the responsibility of captaincy and he's scoring a big 100. It will do wonders for his confidence. Ali Mehdi, we really got to applaud Bangladesh over here. Not only did they manage to bowl out the opposition, they also managed to chase it down in 44.4 overs. And then, of course, we're all appreciating Shantu for a brilliant 100. He was supported by the veteran Mushfiqur Rahim. So somewhat, they've done what was needed, and they've once again, I think, instilled the confidence that was missing from this Bangladeshi side.
And the thing is that the most important thing is when they're in their home conditions, they're playing like playing in a cauldron. I mean, you have to say that it's their fort when they play at home, and they played extremely well yesterday. You were talking about the open with the bowlers; they did extremely well. The 3 fast bowlers took 3 wickets each, spearheaded led by this Taksin, and then obviously Sharaful Islam did very well too. But this is the thing, they were actually hunting in patches to hunting in pairs. They did extremely well. But when it came to the batting, like Asif Bhai mentioned, you obviously lost 3 early wickets. You lost some early wickets, but Shanto and the way the veteran Mushfiqur Rahim has done over these years, when there's a crisis situation, Mushfiqur Rahim always seems to bring out his best, and that's why I think that this Bangladesh, you cannot write them off. Shanto is like thriving in this role as captain over here, and he loved the opportunity to score a brilliant 100, and then Mushfiqur Rahim also getting an important 70 plus runs. So it just shows that this Bangladesh team has a lot of stealth in it. And the most important, Ahmed, is that this is a good sign for Bangladesh, because in about 10 months time, in about 1 year's time, they're preparing for that Champions Trophy, which they're going to come to Pakistan. They've made it into the top 8. Sri Lanka are not there. Bangladesh will be there too. So this is a good sign for Bangladesh, and if they continue on this run, they could be a dangerous side when they come visit Pakistan next year.
Asif, can we probably analyze Sri Lanka over the past 1 or 2 years to be more of a T20 oriented side as well? They're probably missing someone who can carry the innings, somewhat of what we've seen from Sam Ravira in the past. Upal Tharanga used to do it brilliantly. Dinesh Chandimal, to an extent, yes, was doing that. Like you mentioned, Angelo Matthews also had that ability to accelerate. But that importance of building partnerships. Every now and then they will get those quick fire 30s and 60s, even a quick fire 100. But the importance of building partnerships in one international, technically solid batters, which Sri Lanka has been known for over the years. We can never forget Mahila Jayawardene and Kumar Sangakkara, my personal favorite as a left-hander. So that is somewhat that model has been missing, because too much of T20 cricket has dominated.
And if you go a little past in the World Cup of 1996, you will remember Arvinda De Silva, his role in the middle order, and then of course then Arjuna Ranatunga, the legends. Very important point. Once again, the people who are watching, just understand that what Ahmed is saying, and you could find these things only in this show, where Ahmed is sitting and asking these type of technical questions. That the ODI cricket is all about the partnership, even in T20. And when you see the scorecard, that the Pratham Nissanka and Kusal Mendes, and then of course their Avishka Fernando, all of them, they played good. Both of these two players at Kusal Mendes, Pratham Nissanka and Fernando, their strike rate is above than 100. But what happened then in the middle order, that when they lost, they were playing so good, each and everything was in their hand. But when the players aren't there, the batters who could prolong their innings with the ones and twos, this is really important. See why nowadays people are liking Rachin Ravindra and Daryl Mitchell, because their quality is one, and this is what I do like in Mitch Marsh as well. Yes, you are taking some boundaries, but you don't give a chance of singles and twos. If this is ODI cricket, just try to understand you have to play 50 overs. It's not T20 game, and when you're playing 50 overs, then you have enough time that you can accelerate. Maybe after 40 overs, when you are well settled there, you have made 60-70 runs on maybe 90 deliveries, but you could recover that loss. So I think this is the problem with the Sri Lankan team. And in ODI cricket in the World Cup, we have watched the same problem with the Sri Lanka, and they have very good coaches. I don't know what's wrong when the problem is once again there. They're also playing the Lanka Premier League and the rest of the cricket. So I think in this continent, apart from India, every team, including Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, everyone is suffering with this franchise cricket.
Absolutely, and I think for Sri Lanka daily as well. But Asif, thank you very much for joining us on Sports Extra. It was a pleasure having you. Now we shift our focus to football, and we of course discuss the UEFA Champions League, which has now given us some intense lineups as well that we will be talking about. But it was all carnage for certain side, because it was a goals galore when you talk about some of these games as well. So Ali Mehdi, interestingly, we've got an exceptional quarter-final lineup that has been completed now.
And Ahmed, the best quarter-final lineup in many years to come. You have Arsenal, who are qualifying for the quarterfinals for the first time since 2010, when they actually played Barcelona and got hammered by them. So congratulations to to Arsenal football team. And then obviously Barcelona, who are making a comeback, Lewandowski scoring some goals and doing extremely well over there. But then at the same time, Atletico Madrid actually played very well and won on penalties after they won 2-1, on the night, with Griezmann and Depay actually scoring, in Korea obviously from Di Marco from Inter Milan too. So the big result for them too. But other than that, obviously you have the big hitters, Real Madrid over there. Then at the same time you have Barcelona, you have Man City over there too. So I mean, it's a really, really incredible lineup which we have over here.
But all eyes must be on two of these particular games that are bound to happen. And if you look at Madrid against City, is going to be a final before the final if it happens. And then of course Arsenal against Barcelona, like you mentioned as well, is something to look out for.
The Arsenal versus Barcelona, but that's the thing. Arsenal are coming after a very long time. So people are obviously going to target Arsenal. They'll hope that Arsenal can be the team which they can target. But don't forget, Arsenal are actually a good pedigree team. They made the final in 2006 and they're playing some incredible football. If you look in the league, they've been scoring goals for fun. Highest goal difference right now. And if a team gets Arsenal, watch this, write Arsenal off at your peril, because they are the team to look out for. But other than that, the one team you don't want to look forward to playing is the defending champions Man City, who've been on a roll. They've been playing extremely well throughout Europe, so they're one team. And then obviously Real Madrid, the 14-time champions, most recently 2 years ago when they won in Paris too. So I mean, you've got some incredible teams over there. I'm telling you that this time, you cannot say that there's a single team which is one of those teams which are underdogs, because they all are extremely skillful and incredible teams there.
Well, I'm tempted to ask you, how important is it for either Madrid or Barcelona to win a Champions League? Not just because of them as individual teams, but for the fact that the dominance of Spanish football has somewhat been sidelined with the fact that English teams have stepped up to the cordon, German teams are already dominating. So that dominance that we used to see from Spanish football teams in the Champions League has been missing to an extent.
But the good thing is, Ahmed, this year is that you have three teams from Spain: Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid and Barcelona. So it shows that strength has really not disappeared. It's still very much over there. You have two teams from England, three from there, two from Germany in the form of the great big Bayern Munich, 6-time champions, and then Borussia Dortmund too, the champions of 1997. And then at the same time, you have Paris Saint-Germain. So I mean, you look at that. You look at all those teams over there, and there isn't a single team which you can write off over there. So I mean, yes, you've got a very good point that the Spanish teams haven't won in a while. 2 years ago Real Madrid have won, but I think this is extremely important for Barcelona, the team which last won in 2015. They've got nothing to play for really in the league. Real Madrid are going to win that. Copa del Rey, they're not going to win. So for Barcelona, it's really do or bust over here. They really need to win this Champions League.
Well, goals are certainly going to make a difference, because most of these pre-quarterfinals, we've seen them go down to penalties, even for Arsenal. But the only team that still has that hunger and that tactical approach of scoring goals has to be Manchester City. And I think that's what puts them above rest of the teams that Guardiola's I think phenomenal or formidable managerial skills that have given them the strength to play attacking football.
No, and definitely, and they've got such a youth squad over there, and they've got strength and they've got quality from front to back. When we talk about their strikers, the best striker in the world in Eric Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne's over there at the back, and then the best holding midfielder in Rodri. But there's a big thing: they've lost Ederson. I think that's going to be a huge miss. He's injured now, so because of that, I think that really could affect them. But at the same time, they could have some fatigue, because in the Premier League they're fighting off Arsenal and they're fighting off Liverpool too. They're still in the FA Cup, so it's going to be a tall order and it's going to be a mountain for them to win the treble. But if there's any team who can do it, it's Man City, and with that they've got Pep Guardiola, which is actually guiding them.
Well, it is a must question now. Which one team do you think is probably your favorite to probably go forward amongst all of these teams and has that capability and pedigree to win this Champions League?
I think there are two teams, and I'm actually not writing off Man City, but because they've lost Ederson, I think that slightly their chances are slightly diminished, only a tiny bit. But if there are two teams, it has to be 14 times champions Real Madrid, because they always bring it onto the Champions League. And the second team is dark horses have to be Bayern Munich. They're out of the Copa, the German Cup, and they're out of the Bundesliga. I favor Real Madrid and Bayern Munich to actually go the distance this year.
Well, particularly that's an interesting picks for Ali Mehdi as well. But Ali, thank you very much for joining us. That wraps it up from me and the entire team of Sports Extra. It's goodbye for now.